but top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar? Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Wednesday morning. Hey, you're going to be happy about this. We're going to give 4 tickets away this morning to an event that takes place this coming weekend, and it has to do with gardening. Yes. Anyway, 436-MeTV option 11. The first 4 callers that call in will get the tickets. Back in just a moment. Back here on the program on a Wednesday morning. We're midweek already here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. You're watching us, of course, on Comcast, channel 187 and 43.6 and 13.1. And that's live each and every Monday through Friday here on MeTV Fresno, right? Okay, if you want to watch the replay, that comes later in the day. And I understand everything is fixed. All the technical stuff is completed and all done. It's out of the way, so you can watch the replay at 2 o'clock, 13.6 YouTube, and 8 o'clock tonight on 4.6. That would be Biz TV. And the Twitter account is at John Mallos Me TV. Hey, I want to mention that the program on Friday is going to deal with the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide. That's on Friday. All sorts of festivities taking place on Thursday evening out at Fresno State, and in the flag raising out at City Hall. I believe that takes place on Friday morning, if I'm not mistaken. At any rate, we'll have 2 guests in the studio here on Friday morning talking about that. And then tomorrow, interesting program, we're going to talk about mediation. You know, when you got to go through divorce proceedings, there is mediation, my friends. Peace through mediation. We'll be talking with Camille Valentine tomorrow about that. She's a return guest as well. As mentioned, we're going to be giving away 4 tickets to the event that takes place this weekend. And here we are, I mean, in the middle of one of the worst droughts ever in California history, I'm talking about. And here we're going to be talking about planting trees, planting plants, anything in your garden that you want to. But you know, it takes water. They're asking us to cut back 25% of the 10% of the water that city people use. 50% of the entire Central Valley project is still going down into the ocean. Yet they want us cutting back. How are we going to grow anything? How are we going to keep our lawns green? Anyway, that's beside the point. Today, we're going to teach you how to plant something using less water, and we're also going to talk about that big event that comes up on Saturday. It's the 25th annual Spring and Garden Tour right here in the city of Fresno. And when you talk about planting and making a garden, I think you want your garden to look like this. Take a look.
If you prefer a low-maintenance garden, opt for shrubs rather than perennials. Since you will be limited to fewer varieties, select plants with interesting textures and colors in order to maximize the visual impact of your borders. If you have 2 to 4 hours per week to dedicate to your garden, you will have a greater variety of plants to choose from. Certain shrubs, such as hydrangea, as well as perennials, including Hemerocallis, only require occasional maintenance and zero winter protection, making them easy plants to maintain. For the avid gardener, a garden landscape is the culmination of a carefully thought-out plan combined with sustained efforts to ensure a bountiful harvest of color and beauty. Plants such as fruit trees, hybrid tea roses, towering larkspurs, and tulips require specific types of fertilizer, winter protection, and plenty of TLC. The overall success of such a demanding garden will be proportional to the amount of time you put into it. Determine the role of your garden. Do you wish to attract birds, or simply create a lush outdoor space where you can escape with your favorite book this summer? Now, consider the types of plants that are available and their characteristics. Perennials grow back year after year, so they don't need to be replaced with new plants every spring. However, these plants flower at very specific periods, which can sometimes be quite short. Annuals, on the other hand, only last the season, but have the distinct advantage of producing flowers all summer long. It's therefore essential to be familiar with the flowering periods of the plants that will grace your borders. In this way, you can design a layout that will ensure a plentiful garden in perpetual bloom for the entire season. Since conifers and shrubs retain their presence throughout the season, these plants can serve to guide the garden's overall structure. Use them as a starting point in determining the basic layout of your garden. Position these taller specimens towards the rear of your garden, which will allow the flowering plants in the foreground to be fully visible. Limit the number of plant varieties used. It's also preferable to plant in uneven numbers and to arrange flowering varieties in small groups throughout the border. Finally, complete your garden landscape with a bird bath or a fountain. Be sure to only have one focal point in each section of the garden so as to not overload the decor.
Okay, live in our studio now is Chris Hayes, of course on the left, the publicity chair for the upcoming event, and her partner in crime, Ed Dunn. They are here to give you tips on how to keep your garden green and also talk about planting stuff, you know, in this drought, and also to talk about the Spring and Garden Tour that comes up this weekend. It's the 25th annual. Remember, we're giving away 4 tickets for this coming weekend's event. All right, it takes place, of course, on Saturday. So 436-MeTV option 11. Back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Alvaro Chavez is wanted by the FBI in Chicago for selling cocaine. A member of the violent street gang, the Almighty Latin Kings Nation, he has a tattoo of a woman and his name on his right arm. He could be hiding out in California, Illinois, or Mexico. If you know where he is, call 312-421-6700.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Listen, my friends, you're getting a good deal here on Connect with Me. This coming weekend, you're going to be getting, the first 4 callers will be getting tickets. 4 tickets we're giving away. And I guess if you call in, you want to take somebody, that'll be 2 tickets per person. Chris Hayes is here. Ed Dunn is here. It's the 25th Annual Garden Tour. We actually do have a call right now. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead. Who's there? Who's this? Who's on the line? Caller? Oh, I guess they weren't after those tickets after all. So tell us about the garden tour, Chris.
All right. Well, the tour is being held this Saturday. It is our 25th annual tour, and it's going to feature 6 gardens. They're all in the Fig Garden area.
Okay. And Ed, you're a part of this. What's your role in all this?
Well, I'm just my good friend Chris's assistant.
Okay.
You know, we help with the publicity, and I've worked in the garden, and I worked in one of the gardens, actually 2 of them, and help prepare for this event, and it's really neat. And these gardens are all pretty darn close. You can actually walk to them.
Okay, we do have another call here. Let's hope this one is a good one. Hey, caller, are you there? What's your name?
John.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Yourself?
Good, good. So did you call about the tickets or ask a question or both?
I have a question. I wish I could go up there this weekend, but I can't. So
okay.
I'm hoping somebody else will get those. I'm redoing my brother's front yard, and I want to do a zero scape landscaping. Is there any recommendations on something that would you recommend just cactus, or do you recommend like a professional who looks or does who specializes in zero-scape landscaping? I'll take my information off the air.
Okay. Did you get all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. So actually, everything is going to require some water to begin with. There's no such thing as a plant that you could put in the ground in Fresno, California and expect it to survive. So the best thing to do is to look for plants that are in the drought-tolerant, type of plant material, and then to manage your water correctly and to be judicious about your irrigation, and that's a huge part of it.
Let's talk about that, because some of these plants right here that we have on the desk are kind of drought resistant, right?
Yeah.
And exactly what does that mean? Does that mean they require less water? Is that what that means?
Right. Some plants can go a couple of weeks or more without water.
Hang on, caller, hang on.
And there are trees also, like the Palo Verde tree, for instance, that can go quite a while without water. So it's putting judicious systems in. There are lots of ways to do it. Putting drip to each plant saves a lot of water, and yet it's very efficient.
Yeah.
And you can time it.
Now, let's take that logo down just for a minute, because I want to take that shot right there and take a look at some of these plants here. Go from hang on, caller, we'll get to you in one moment. Thanks for your patience. Go from left to right there. What kind of plant is that?
Okay, so what we have basically here are three things that are in the succulent family. Now, to put them in full sun in Fresno as babies, probably not a great idea, but to begin with. But I can tell you that my succulents, I have them where they get east-facing sun. I only water them like every 2 weeks. The euphorbia is basically can become almost a weed.
So what plant is that on the left there?
So this one here is one of the succulents.
Okay, yeah. And the one next to it?
And so that'll actually form a ground cover. It will spread in time. And so all of these are just different kinds of succulents. I don't know that we've actually got names on them.
How about this one here?
This one is a euphorbia, and this one actually will form a very pretty bush that it does throw up a little sort of spiky flower, and they're extremely drought tolerant.
Okay, caller, are you there? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, I am. I was just calling actually about the ticket for the program.
Sure. Yeah, we'll have to take your name, and you'll have to come down to Ventura TV and pick up your tickets. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
What's your name, ma'am?
I appreciate your programming. Josie.
Your name is what?
Josie.
Josie. Okay. Do you know where we're located?
Oh, yes, I do. Actually, I've actually bought some products from your store.
Okay. Well, then
absolutely love your programming too.
We'll save you 2 tickets. How's that?
Thank you so much, John.
Okay. Do you have any questions for our guest?
Well, on the succulents, I actually water mine more often, and I just heard the young lady talk about every 2 weeks. Is it harmful for the succulents to water them more than several times a week?
Actually, it's going to depend on what kind of exposure you have them in. If they're getting a lot of sun, then you would probably have to, change that up. But you can certainly drown a succulent more than you can let it dry out too much. And they will basically rot because they really do need for their roots to dry out. So your best bet is to stick your finger or use a soil probe and, stick your finger in the dirt and of the pot and see if it's got any dampness to it. Then they're not ready to be watered yet.
Okay, the Spring and Garden Tour is this weekend, this coming Saturday to be exact, and so it's the 25th annual. Hey, get out there and get some tips on how to do it yourself and, not rely on someone else, especially your gardener, right? 436-MeTV, option 11. We're back here on the program in just a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. He's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, ma'am. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We need help to find this missing child. Patrick Alford was 8 when he went missing. He was last seen in Brooklyn, New York in January of 2010. This is what we believe he looks like today at age 12. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Patrick Alford home.
All right, I'm looking at a press release here for the Spring and Garden Tour 2015 version, my friend. This is the 25th year, 25 years in the making.
That's right.
You ever seen a drought like this? I haven't. No.
No, and not the consistently dry years over the last few years.
Yeah.
You know, that's even, exacerbated the problem.
Yeah.
If you have one drought year and then you have some pretty decent rain that's equal or above the average, then you can survive. But it is really, 3 out of the last 4 years, Chris, have just
been horrible.
Have been horrible, and it's it's kind of ironic. It's come on the heels of the recession too, so you've had this kind of double whammy locally. For agriculture and nursery folks and gardeners and everyone.
It affects nurseries in a big way.
Oh, it does,
Sure.
and so the smart nurseries are stocking up on drought-tolerant plants and environmentally friendly plants that don't use as much water and that are disease-resistant. So some of the nurseries have gotten really smart with that.
Give me some advice, because I don't have many plants, but I do have bushes, and I do have trees in the back that I don't want to lose. I lost one already. It died of some kind of disease or something, and we had to chop it down. But how often are you supposed to water your trees?
What kind of trees are they?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Thanks, Ed. I have no idea.
Right.
It does help if you know that. Certain trees are certainly more water using than others. And unfortunately, Fresno has a thing for California redwood trees, and they are the biggest water user of any tree out there. And really, no one should be planting those trees. They take like 1,200 gallons a week.
Ooh.
Each tree to survive. And
well, is it possible to overwater your trees?
Of course, it's possible to overwater everything.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. By the way, we got 2 more tickets to give away if you want to come down to Ventura TV and pick them up. So where is the Spring and Garden Tour taking place? That's the first thing. Where would it take place? Where do you go?
Well, it's in Old Fig Garden, which is really nice. There are 6 homes that have been chosen. They're not all the same, 6 yards. They're not all the same. Some are more drought tolerant. Some have a lot of shade plants. But what's really nice about this, for the first time I can ever recall, and I've been to a lot of these tours, is that they're really walking distance or biking distance. So it's really nice. And of course, one of the homes featured there is President Castro of the university, and
it's called the University House Garden.
It's called the University House, or what we call Fresno's White House. Right. It's a lovely garden, and I must say that a lot of the houses, in complement to the gardens, are very interesting. So you have famous architects who have designed the house, and in some cases famous landscape architects or designers who've done the yards.
Yeah.
And the owners will be there to talk about
this. Joseph Castro was a guest here in our program. I'm not sure when. I think it was last year sometime. And I forgot to look under his fingernails to see if I caught any dirt or grass or anything. Wasn't going through my mind at the time, but I wonder if he goes out there and actually waters and maybe does his own planting sometimes.
Well, I know he's had some input on some of the plants that have gone in recently, and of course they do a lot of entertaining there, but I believe there are, Chris, like 4 coral trees, I believe, that he liked that were in Santa Barbara, and I believe they planted them there, if I remember correctly.
Right? Really?
If I remember correctly,
okay. Okay, so his is not the only one. It's one of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting 7 here.
Well, okay, so the last one on that list is the Garden of the Sun, and that is our public garden. It's over by the airport, sort of winery and McKinley area.
Oh, okay.
And we include that in the tour every year because that's where we have our plant sale. And so what we do is we kind of look at what we consider to be the best and the brightest out of some of these gardens that you'll be touring and that we think are going to be big sellers, and we include them in the plant tour.
All right, just to mention the other houses so nobody is left out of the equation here. It's the Cole Garden, the Hyatt Garden, Tom and Angie Hyatt, by the way. They're real estate agents. The DeMonte and Howard Garden. We mentioned the University House. The Kendall Garden. The Mott's Husband Garden. I'm not sure what that is, but you can go ahead and explain it.
Well, that's her last name and his last name.
Okay.
So anyway, that garden is actually very interesting in the Mott's Husband Garden, in that the house, once they moved in, a neighbor said, you know, I think you need to do a little research on this. I believe this is a John Wolfe design, and in fact it is. And he was someone that did a lot of houses in Beverly Hills for a lot of the stars in the 40s. And so the garden then was designed by Thomas Church, was again a very famous landscape designer in the 50s.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 more tickets to give away. These are $25 value. They take place this Saturday, the 25th annual garden tour. And as we go to break, I want to play one of the videos, and we're going to show the pictures. Don't worry, we'll get to that. We got plenty of time. I want to show the green lawn video as we go to break, and we're going to use the sound on this one. And when we come back after the break, I'm going to ask you, how do you keep your lawn green? Green! In a drought situation, or can you keep it green? Is it better to just let it go brown? Here's the videotape. Take a look as we go to break.
How to get a green lawn. Make everyone in your neighborhood green with envy over your lush lawn with these landscaping secrets. You will need a soil test, fertilizer, water, and sharp lawnmower blades. Step 1. Test your soil to find out what nutrients it needs. Garden centers often sell do-it-yourself kits, or you can arrange a test through the Cooperative Extension System, a national agriculture network. Find a nearby extension office on the USDA website. Step 2. Don't put too much fertilizer out at one time. 1 pound of actual nitrogen per 1,000 square feet is a good rule of thumb, but follow the directions on your package. After fertilizing, lightly water your lawn to wash any excess off the blades and to help the fertilizer reach the roots. Step 3. Give your lawn about 1 inch of water per week. If it's really hot out, give it 1 inch of water every 3 to 5 days. A can set outside will tell you how much rainwater your lawn has gotten. Time how long it takes for the can to fill up 1 inch. Many extension websites have guidelines on the optimum water amounts for different types of grass. Step 4. Water your grass early in the morning so the blades dry before sundown. Otherwise, fungus may develop. Step 5. Mow your grass weekly from spring through fall. Check your lawnmower blades for sharpness. Dull ones weaken the grass by tearing it. Grass mowed with sharp blades will look like it's been cut straight across with scissors, while dull blades leave jagged edges. If your lawn has a white cast after mowing, your lawnmower needs sharpening. Step 6. Make sure the grass is dry but not arid when you are ready to mow it. To test, stick a screwdriver into the ground. If it goes in up to the handle without much force, it's fine. Step 7. Leave the grass 2 to 3 inches high, depending on the variety. This shades the grass, which helps the roots hold moisture. It also prevents weeds from growing. Step 8. Mow in a different direction every couple of weeks to keep the grass healthy. Step 9. Leave the clippings on your lawn. They're a good source of fertilizer. Step 10. Don't let autumn leaves linger on your lawn, or they'll weaken grass by blocking sunlight. Did you know? Human hair has been found to be an effective plant fertilizer.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
We're back here on the program, and the 25th annual Spring and Garden Tour takes place this coming weekend on Saturday, and the tickets are $25 each. We got 2 of those babies to give away, so call in 436-MeTV, option 11. You'll have to come into Ventura TV to pick them up, but hey, what's the price of gas these days, right? It's not a problem. Anyway, so we tossed it to break. We talked about watering your lawn. I get a sense that we're going to be seeing a lot of brown lawns in Fresno this coming summer, including mine, right? I mean, how do you keep a lawn green during a drought? Do you have any ideas?
You can't.
It's impossible, huh?
No, it's impossible. And anybody that does is watering more than they should. So that's
it's either immoral or impossible.
Yeah.
I got rid of my lawn. I have none. And Chris,
what do you have?
I have a ground cover and some really organic dirt and some succulents and some drought tolerant plants, and but it looks good. To me, it looks good anyway.
A few rocks out there.
And I got rid of mow, blow, and go. Those 3 gardeners.
Those gardeners are gone, huh?
They're gone.
Oh my gosh! Maybe I should do the same thing. I don't know. We got a call here. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air with Chris Hayes and with Ed Dunn. Go ahead.
Real quick question. We just start putting some Bermuda roll. Just roll it and put it down. I understand by watering the lawn, it should be in the evening. And how much time you put your timer to especially you have just barely put up the ground, the roll up type of grass on the backyard. Now, here I think we're allowed 3 days right now. They haven't said anything about 2 days yet. But how much time would you put water, the sprinklers on, so it won't get dry? That's my question. Because if it's warm and all that, I'm afraid the roots won't come out. But how much time do you think on the evening we should put those sprinklers on in order for it not to dry?
So I didn't understand what kind of grass you put in.
Bermuda.
Bermuda. Oh, so is it a hybrid Bermuda or a common Bermuda? It's a hybrid? Okay. It's still not as thirsty as the cool season grasses like the fescues. So actually you should be adjusting your sprinklers throughout the year so that you're not watering, Bermuda at the same rate in January that you are in July. And if you look at the Master Gardener website, which is very easily found online, they will actually give you timetables for irrigation on your lawn. But it does change with the seasons. And of course, if you're putting in a brand new lawn, it's going to need more than if it were more established. But if you've got runoff happening, if you're seeing water actually running off your lawn, is it on a flat surface or do you have mounds?
No, it's a flat surface.
Okay, so you've got.
When we put it on, it isn't rough at all, or even.
All right. So at least you're not wasting water that way. So I think my cycles right now on my hybrid Bermuda are set for about. Right now, because it really hasn't gotten warm yet, I do it about 13 minutes for each cycle right now, twice a week, and it's staying minimally green.
Okay, so that's pretty much the way you would put it as far as
well, since you're doing a new lawn, you're going to have to water more than that. Mine is a 20-year-old lawn, so.
Yeah.
So sometimes you might have to water twice a day and still stay within the rules. So if you water, let's say 10 minutes before 6 a.m. in the morning and then another 10 after 7 at night, sometimes you can do that, although it's not recommended that you continue to water in the evenings because that can cause some other problems. But when you're first trying to get it established, and of course for those who haven't put it on a lawn yet, make sure you put it on amended dirt, that retains the water for a while, and at the same time actually gives nutrition to the new lawn.
Yeah, I just have a caller. Are you there?
Trees, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
why did you decide to put a new lawn in during a drought? Just out of curiosity. I'm not trying to criticize you, but I'm just curious.
No, you know why? In our area, there are new homes. And all the homes right there, all homes right there. The front is only is a half lawn, but in the back it's all dirt. So we decided, we called the city. He said, "This is what we're planning to do. We know, we understand. We have 3 days to do it, okay?" And then they don't know sure if it's going to be back to 2. So, we just to the 2 minutes.
Okay.
So this is
all right. You're breaking up, so we got to let you go. I don't know if you're talking on a cell phone, but your cell phone or your phone anyway. I don't know if it's a cell phone. It's starting to break up quite a bit, and you're coming in and out. So, anyway, we kind of got the gist of your question, and I guess are we down to a day a week of watering now in Fresno and Clovis?
Actually, it's 2 days.
It's 2 days.
So it's either Tuesday.
Surprised it's not down to 1 day.
Well, yeah, it went from 3 to 2, from Tuesday and Saturday, or Wednesday and Sunday.
Okay.
You're either on one or the other, depending on whether you have an even address or an odd address.
Yeah. I got to go to break, but would you suggest that that we stop watering our lawns and just worry about the plants and trees, water them by hand? Be a good idea.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I think at this point, I am going to still give the lawn the minimum amount to keep it going a little longer. I guess I'm hoping that we aren't going to just go to draconian measures, but we could.
Yeah.
We don't
it's amazing the kind of measures that we're taking here in the state of California, and you still got a tremendous amount of water going into the ocean, as if we need more water in the ocean, right? The Pacific needs a lot more water than we do, I guess. I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. And we're having to cut back 25% here in the city. 436 MeTV option 11. I still have 2 tickets left for the 25th annual Spring and Garden Tour that takes place this coming weekend. It's a $25 value on those tickets. Back in a moment.
Most-watched news channel in Europe.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
We're back here on the program talking about how long, we're having to shorten I remember the days when we were taking like 20, 30-minute showers. You remember that? Not anymore, my friends. And we're saving water in the shower now. I know a lot of people are doing that. You guys are doing that, right?
I do that. And we sing shorter songs, too.
In the shower?
Yeah.
Well, that's better for your ears, actually. That's good for the ears. The shorter, the better. Hey, I have a whole host of photos that you sent over that I want to show.
Sure, those are some of the homes.
Yeah, let's just start showing each photo, and we can put it up. Okay, what's that right there?
It's a beautiful garden.
I kind of figured that.
That's actually at the Cole Garden, and that garden, when they built that house, it was already part of a larger garden, so they had the advantage of some older trees, and so that garden actually has no lawn. What they have is synthetic.
Hang on, caller. Just give me a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, the garden is a lot of drought tolerance. They've done a lot of interesting hard surface pathways and walkways. This garden is also, by the way, you can't really see anything in this photo, but full of garden art that he's made out of reclaimed garden tools that are just charming. It's really fun.
Yeah. That's one of 3 homes on Van Ness.
Okay, so that's the Cole
Christmas
Garden?
Christmas Tree Lane.
Garden.
Yeah. That's Cole's, yes.
Christmas Tree Lane. All right. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. The reason I was calling is, with the water and the way everything's going, this show was very interesting. And I had seen it earlier today, and I find it to be very interesting, and so did my wife. And the reason I was calling is we were trying to see if I can send her to go check this out, because it looks like it's a very interesting thing to pay attention to.
Yeah. So are you going to the spring? What's interesting about the show that you're talking about? I'm not quite sure I follow you. What's interesting?
The way the water, the way everything's going on with the water and what you can do and you can't do. I live in a city where I can only water 3 weeks since last year, and I noticed that I don't even have a backyard anymore and I have very little left of a front yard. When I was growing up, that was the main thing, all that grass that it can play.
Okay.
It seems like there's that time here.
All right. Thanks, caller. I appreciate the time. Yeah, should we feel guilty that there's this spring and garden tour going on during the drought or not?
You know, I think because we consider this a teaching tool, this tour, and we have
how to save water
on everything to do with gardening, and you know, sensible ways to handle everything. And what we're hoping that people can come away from is seeing, okay, I don't have to have a half an acre of lawn. I could do this. That hard surfaces can be attractive. That you know that. Small sections of artificial turf can be used in the right space, can be, you know, a good look. My dogs would hate it, but you could put it in the front, you know. And also, we have a lot of the gardeners that have spent a tremendous amount of time on really fine-tuning their irrigation systems, and that is a huge part of it.
This is what irritates me, and I cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and also they're going to see a lot of native plants that grow here because they belong here. And one of the most difficult challenges for anyone, I think, whether you're an experienced gardener or not, is to try to plant something that's not indigenous to this area, or at least is not indigenous to an area similar to our climate, and to try to make it grow. It's going to take more water, it's going to take more fertilizer, more pesticide, whatever. So if you stick with some of these attractive drought-tolerant plants and plants that are indigenous to the area, you can have a beautiful garden.
See, here's the irritating part about this whole thing is that we do have another call. Hang on, caller, I'll get to you in a minute. Is that I've never been a water waster. And here we are having to cut back another 25% of the only 10% that we use and feeling guilty about the amount of water that we are using. There's something wrong with that picture because you and we didn't have anything to do with putting ourselves in this kind of situation. It's the politicians and the policymakers that didn't pre-plan ahead. And so we shouldn't feel guilty about using water when we're not abusing the water system, right?
Well, yeah, I think feeling...
that's the way I feel about
it. No, I agree with you, but I think it's, rather than feel guilty, it's just more being conscientious about the predicament we've been put in by Mother Nature.
But we've always been... Haven't you always been conscious about water? I have, and I'm sure you have.
I have, but I've become, believe it or not, a lot more conscientious about it because of the drought.
Yeah.
And when I make a selection to do something, that's why the last 2 places I've taken my lawns out, I just feel like I could see that coming even before we hit this hard drought time. Plus, let's face it, it's less expensive when you don't have a lawn or a big lawn. You don't have the gardening cost. You're not putting all the pesticides and herbicides into the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of advantages from a financial standpoint too.
But my point is, we've all lived by the rules, and now we're being. It seems like we're being
But
penalized.
we don't all live by the rules.
We don't all live, unfortunately.
Well, I'm talking about us here.
Oh, sure.
All right.
Sure. Sure.
Because I walk around my neighborhood every morning looking at water running, you know, off down driveways and out into the street and broken sprinklers, and it just, you know,
that
everybody
shouldn't happen,
that shouldn't happen, and people need to be paying more attention to their irrigation
but us
systems.
three, I mean, we're conscious about it. It's too bad other people are not, but it just, I don't know. Anyway, we got 2 minutes. We have a call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
I'd like to know if, in your opinion, this drought is man-made. I think it is, because it's not letting anybody have any water. And all this deal about not watering your lawn, has anybody thought about what happened in the Dust Bowl? You don't have no lawn. What have you got? Dirt. What happens when the wind comes? Going to blow all that dirt around, and we're going to have what they call dust pneumonia.
Whoa. We got a little problem with our phone system here. Every call seems to be garbled for some reason or other. I don't know why, but that's a good point that she made. I did understand part of what she said. You know, what do we got here? A dust bowl, basically.
Well, and you know, but there are lots of ways to control the dust. Yeah, we're a desert here for sure, in the best of years.
Yeah.
That I think, you know, we're seeing more hardscape, more decomposed granite, more things that will keep the dust down, and drought-tolerant bushes and other kinds of growth, and bear grass and other things that aren't nearly as don't require nearly water thirsty, but yet at the same time do help keep the dust down.
Yeah.
So
let's take another call and see if we can understand this caller. Go ahead, you're on the air. By the way, we got 2 tickets left, a $50 value for 2 tickets. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm just wondering, with all the things that we have in Fresno and the amount of weight there is there, why are we not zeroing on that, and then instead of leaving our lawn so dirty and ugly? I have a gardener I've had for almost 15 years. He's been wonderful. He'll be out of work if I say, oh, just let everything go. I think something can be done, whether it's the salinization of seawater or getting water from Washington. I think something can be done, and I hope that our governor can see that. Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate it. Got to take a break. We're going to come back and look at more photos that Ed brought along, beautiful photos of the garden tour. And I got to tell you something, my garden will never look like that. Even if we have, the biggest flood in the history of floods, my garden will still not look like any of these. 436-ME-TV, option 11, back in just a moment.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman
fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The Adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
It's that time again for you and your friends to enjoy the Master Gardener's annual Spring Garden Tour, Saturday, April 25th. Imagine visiting 6 lovely landscapes in charming Old Fig Garden and coming away with all kinds of exciting ideas for your own yard. For ticket information, just Google Master Gardeners Fresno or call 559-970-3384.
The chirping of the birds and the voice of Ed Dunn on one of your PSAs, right?
Yes, sir.
That's exactly right. Very nice, very good. Voice for radio.
Thank you. Well, Chris says I have a face for radio. I'm not sure how to take that.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We got a call. Caller, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just want to make a comment about the large establishments we have in Clovis. I know that you're making a big thing about the drought. I was just wondering, now I was driving by Clovis Community Hospital yesterday on the freeway, and I noticed that they have a huge acre of lawn out by their one of their new buildings.
Yeah.
And it's all lawn. It's all grass.
Okay.
And what really, really pissed me off was seeing that when everybody else has to go without lawns.
Okay. Thank you very much for the call. Well, what are you going to do? There are violators, and so what can you do? Turn them into the water police, right?
That's right. You can. However,
Okay.
I must say that the lawn at Clovis Hospital is all watered by reclaimed water. So that
It's
is
like recycled water?
That's
Is that
right.
what
It
you're
is
talking
all
about?
recycled water,
Okay. All
and
right.
that is how they're watering all of their new landscape too.
Okay,
so.
let's get through these photos here because
Yeah.
we brought a bunch of them. So we've already seen the picture from the Cole house, and let's do another one. Where is this?
This is at the Kendall Garden.
Beautiful.
And again, these gardens are lucky in that these are older homes and they have the benefit of having shade, so they can have gardens in there that are shade plants. I
see.
But, you can see there that this garden actually has like 20 some odd Japanese maples in it, too.
Actually, yes, I've worked in this garden recently, and it's lovely. It has over 50, actually, Japanese maples,
okay.
but it has over 400 rose bushes. And this has a very elaborate drip system that each rose bush has a drip going to it. So it's really efficient. It uses much less water than if that space were taken up with a lawn, for instance.
All
And it's
right.
beautiful.
Next photo. And this one, beauty here.
Same
Wow.
garden. Same garden. Kendall
Same
garden.
garden. Okay, Kendall garden. All right. And is that a drip system as well, or are all these drip systems?
They are. This whole house, basically, yes, but this whole garden is on drip.
And she has no lawn other than a bare grass lawn in the shade, which takes very little
And when
water.
you say that Kendall has, it's Master Gardener Sue Kendall,
Yes.
Old Fig Gardens Rose Lady, and it's a really, it's a great display. Obviously, next photo, you'll see there. Is that the same place?
Yes.
It is.
Right.
It is, and all this is recycled water. It looks like.
Well, you're not going to use recycled water in your koi pond because that'll kill your koi. So that's a no-no. So this part isn't. But what she's using for landscape watering is recycle.
All right. How about the next one?
Okay, so this garden is actually the Mott's husband garden, and this is the garden that was designed by Thomas Church. So he was known for very simple designs, clean lines, very architectural garden designs. Actually, he did a lot of work for Sunset Magazine and a lot of buildings in the Bay Area.
Very nice. And those trees right there, how much water do they require?
Well,
what kind of trees are they?
Those are crepe myrtles, aren't they?
I believe they are, and they're very drought
they are very
tolerant.
drought tolerant.
They're a great tree to plant.
So you don't have
here.
to water those every day.
No.
Oh heavens, no.
We took out some in the back of some redwoods that were drinking a lot of water, and we put these in, and they just look beautiful.
Name of those trees again are
crepe myrtle.
Crepe myrtle. Okay.
Come in all kinds of colors. Beautiful smooth bark.
Okay.
Lovely tree.
All right. Next one.
This one is also at the Mott's husband garden. Yeah.
Okay. And a nice walkway and a pathway there.
So you can see, you're using crushed granite or crushed rock probably is what this is. And so, instead of a lawn, a lawn pathway, this is a no maintenance pathway.
Yeah, basically it is. And the next one here, beautiful little red bridge there, huh?
That's Kendall Garden.
That is? That's Kendall again? Okay. And the next one? Now, let me ask you something. Do those require a lot of water?
Well, those are some of the roses to which I was referring. Isn't this in front of Sue's?
Yeah.
I almost thought for a minute it was the university house.
Except for his is not multicolored.
This is a Kendall garden?
This is a Kendall, and those are some of the 400 roses she has. And yet, that beautiful display takes much less water than a lawn would in that same space.
It would?
Yeah, because she has it very intelligently drip to each rose. And you know what else that does? It keeps down the weeds, because the weeds need water. Well, if they're not getting any water because the drip is bypassing them, it also, you don't need as much herbicide. You don't need the manual labor of taking out those weeds.
But there is the manual labor of deadheading the roses.
That's true. But that's kind of a fun
I
thing.
know, yeah. And also, she's done a pretty good job of getting mulch down there, which really helps absorb. It keeps the moisture in and deflects the heat, so you're not ending up with
and controls the
water.
weeds, right?
And controls the weeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Next
mulching,
one.
very important.
How about this one here?
Yeah, this is a lovely garden. This is the Cole garden also, and this is
the Cole garden.
Yeah,
okay.
so this house was built in the 50s, and it's like I said, one of the gardens that benefited from having some shade trees to begin with. There is no vegetation, no lawn in this garden at all.
You would never know you're in Fresno by walking through that garden. You'd say to yourself, this can't be Fresno.
Yeah, that's an experience. You think you're in Carmel or someplace else. Yeah,
I know. All right, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Speak your mind.
Yes, I'm interested in the tickets for the garden tour. I go almost every year and interested in that. But also, I have a real problem with cats in my yard from the neighborhood, and I'm trying to decide in certain areas plants that would be cat repellent. And I'm interested in that.
Thorn bushes.
There are some plants, I believe, that way, but you can also, there are some treatments you can use on bushes and trees, and I'm not sure if there's an organic version of that. But I know I've used some stuff to keep squirrels from chewing on my trees, but it doesn't kill the squirrels, it just keeps them away. So there are some products, I'm not familiar with naming them, but there are some things available. And there probably are some plants that cats like, if I remember correctly, that may not like to be around.
Yeah.
But,
no catnip.
But you just want to be careful not to put down stuff that is, toxic. There are other ways to keep them. It's an excellent question. Now, do we need her name for the tickets?
Yes, caller, are you there? I need your name, and you'll have to come pick the tickets up over at Ventura TV. You know where we're located?
Yes, my name is Jean.
Okay. All right, Jean. So you can come pick those up at the front desk, okay?
Terrific. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, got to go to break here. Talking about the 25th annual Spring and Garden Tour that takes place this coming weekend. The tickets are gone. They're $50 value for 2 tickets. 436-MeTV option 11 if you have any more questions. We got a little bit of time left here on the program. Back in a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. James Bell is an alleged child predator. Bell's wanted for molesting 3 girls ages 9 through 13 while working at a local YMCA in 2003. He was arrested, then fled. Bell has worked as a gymnastics instructor, coach, and a computer repairman. Bell could be anywhere along the West Coast. If you know where he is, call 617-742-5533.
Some more time left here on the program. Connect with me on MeTV Fresno, talking about the Spring Garden Tour. Let's pick up these photos once again, and some beautiful gardens that we've seen here. This looks like another beauty.
That is actually the university house in the front there.
Okay,
I believe, or maybe it's not in the front. Maybe it's along a fence. That's hibiscus. Those aren't actually roses, I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
But they have 1.3 acres there at the property, and I'll tell you what, they've got all kinds of wonderful plant selections and roses. Anybody who's been down Christmas Tree Lane has driven right in the front of that. That house is on the corner of Holland and Van Ness, I believe.
Right, right. Next photo, and we'll take a look at this. And where's this? Hang on, caller. Get to you in a moment. Go ahead.
So this is at the DeMonte Howard Garden, and this actually has a running waterway through it. You can sort of see about halfway through there, and and they have a little waterfall, and they just recirculate the water. The garden was designed by a Japanese landscape architect probably in about the 50s, and when these people bought the house, it was in serious disrepair, so they worked with a local landscape person and have kind of recreated things. So
okay,
it's wonderful.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I called earlier because I was having static with my phone, but I was going to ask both of them, we have a small lawn, okay? So what I did was on that part, I put bark on the outside. First, what I did was put a black tarp so no weeds would come out, but we covered it with just bark all around the fence, which looks nice. But I also put cactus because it doesn't take a lot of water, and it looks pretty good, So other than the lawn, which we're just soaking it according to the dish you still have. But let's give it number one because it doesn't take a lot of water as far as the cactus, but also bark. It gives it that hey, that extra what I want. But like I said before, that black tarp so the weeds won't come out.
All right. So what do you think?
Yeah, so, I think you've done a nice job of, okay, we still want to have our lawns, and I'm one of them that would still like to have a lawn, but what you're doing is giving yourself a nice balance. You've used ground cover to keep your weeds down, to keep your moisture in. You've put in the cacti, which are, very drought tolerant, and so, you've chosen to, let what water we're going to get go towards your lawn, and that's great. You're being sensible.
Next photo. I want to get through all these photos here, and there's another nice one there. And is that at the Castro residence or no?
No, that actually is also going to be at the DeMonte Garden, and that's part of their waterway. See in the upper front there, that is part of their circulating water there, and that again is the same garden.
Same garden.
But do you see how they balance that with hardscape, decking, decomposed granite, other kinds of rocks, so that even though they have a waterway, they're really not using nearly as much water as if they had all lawn there, for instance.
Yeah.
And redwoods.
Okay, here's another one right here, another beauty. I got to ask you a question, though, as we look at this from which home? This one is...
Oh, this is also going to be DeMonte.
DeMonte. Is it possible to use recycled water and water your plants and trees, or is that impossible?
Well, unfortunately, if you're using water that's coming out of a shower, out of a washing machine or whatever, you're going to have a lot of soaps in it, which means there's going to be salts. And so, not really. You can, but I wouldn't make it a steady diet of it.
All right. Well, this house here?
And this is the Hyatt Garden.
The Hyatt Garden, okay. Is that on Van Ness there?
It is, and it's across the street from the Cole Garden, so that'll be a very short walk for someone.
Okay, and the next one there, where's this?
That's also Hyatt.
Hyatt? That's in the backyard?
That's in the back.
And they did a lot of the brickwork themselves.
Yeah.
They did? They got out there and did it on their hands and knees, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of brickwork. That's the hardscape she's chosen to use. Is brickwork.
It's really a lovely place.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And this part of the Hyatt place here?
Yeah.
Again, what's that?
Well, that's a raised bed, and that's, in one of the sunniest spots in her garden, so she can actually get her herbs and stuff. So that's actually a very healthy-looking basil plant right there in the middle.
Hey, here's a question as we take a look at some more photos here. Opinion on spray-on seed for ground cover. What's your opinion about that? Spray-on seed for ground cover.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen. Yes, I've seen it done for lawns.
Yeah.
If they're meaning for lawns.
I haven't seen it done for ground cover. But I'll tell you, ground cover is a nice option. Uses a little bit less water than the lawn, probably 20% less on the average. And there are lots of neat ground covers, and I think they're well worth exploring. But usually I start with just really small plants, and ground cover usually grows pretty quickly. One of the later movements I've seen, I was just down south, is doing big pavers and then planting like elfin thyme or other kinds of ground covers in between them. So you have the green, but it's on drip. It doesn't take much at all, and it breaks up the hardscape. It's a great look and very, very not labor intensive at all once it's put in.
We're out of photos. We've shown all the photos. Where can they buy tickets?
Well, you've got a list there. There are probably, 15, 20 places around town, so they can find.
Well, can they go to a website and find out what's the main website they can go to find out where they can buy tickets?
They should just go to the Master Gardener main website. It'll list where all the ticket places are.
What website is that?
I would just Google Master Gardener Fresno County, and it'll pop up.
It'll pop up.
It's a great big long address.
And then for folks who've been coming for years, they know they have their standard nurseries like Belmont and Gazebo Gardens and places where they can go, and Apperjean Leather in Fig Garden. So there are several places that sell the tickets, and then they can buy tickets actually at each of the 7 venues on the day.
What time does it start?
9.
Okay.
9 to 5.
Okay.
And they can buy at any of those. However, the tickets will be $30 instead of $25. But it goes to a good cause. It benefits the Master Gardeners of Fresno County, which is a nonprofit and volunteer organization.
We got 30 seconds left. The best advice for people is to get these kind of plants and get a drip system?
You know what, just rethink your irrigation system. It is amazing how much water is wasted by irrigation systems that are left on the same cycle year round. You'll see people watering in the middle of a rainstorm, in the middle of winter, watering their Bermuda lawn, and it's really getting to know your irrigation system.
If I could ever get the attention of my gardener for more than 10 seconds, that would be a miracle.
Well, that would be a miracle.
Time for you to take charge in this situation, John.
They can also find free adult education classes that the Master Gardeners give online, and sometimes we're talking about drought tolerance or water conservation. Those are hot topics.
Check out our website. It is full of information.
And fire your gardener.
No, gotta go. 10 seconds left. Chris Hayes, Ed Dunn, thank you much. This coming Saturday, Spring Garden Tour, the 25th edition. Hey, tickets are not that, only $25 each. That's cheap. And you'll be able to see 7 or 6 homes, right? 6 homes, including Joseph Castro. See you tomorrow, and connect with me on MeTV Fresno. We'll have a mediator in the house talking about mediation. Have a good day.